Hello guys, welcome again to my channel. So this is the part 2 of the series where I'm working on the blog application, which is completely RESTful. So if you haven't looked at the part 1 of this series, please do that because I have covered a lot of details there, and this is the part 2, which is going to be the continuation of our part 1 of this series. So I see a lot of people watching the videos but not subscribing, and it's really heartbreaking. So if you are looking at this video, please click on the subscribe button, and let's not waste any more time and let's work on the code. So previously we worked on the post side of the application. In this video we are going to work on our comment side of the application. So in our blog application we majorly have post. So we have a lot of post, and people whatever they have any questions or if they have any kind of a feedback, they do comment on the post, and that is what we are going to work here in this video. So what do we need first? Before, what we did is we first worked on our bean, and that bean was post basically, which was your table as well. So this is how we created our entity. And similarly we have to work on the comment section as well. So we will just create a new class for comment. So just type the name comment, and that's it. So we can use the same set of annotations here as well. So the only differentiation is that the table name is going to be comments plural, and that's it. Now we need few variables. Common thing is going to be your ID. Then the person, whoever is providing the comment, he needs to provide his details so that people can reach out to him or maybe just contact him, right? So we need name, which can be anonymous, an email, which should be there, and then the actual comment that he wants to provide, right? So let's do that. Private string name. So name is not necessary, but let's do that in any case. So things should work fine with the email. And lastly, the comment. So these are the things that we need. Now what we did before in post is we annotate these with ID and with column. So similarly we are going to work on that. So this is going to be ID. This is a column. Similarly, this is a column, and this one as well. Now Lombok is going to generate the getters and setters for us, but there is one thing that we need. So a post can have multiple comments, right? So any post can have any number of comments, which means that here we have a mapping. So we have a post, we have comments plural, right? So this is one to many mapping if we talk about post to comment, but from comment perspective this is many to one, right? So similarly we have to annotate this, but first we have to create an object of the identifier of post through which they are actually going to map in database. This is going to be post. Now like I said, this is a many to one mapping. And now coming back to our post class, here we need another set. So this is going to be list of comment and then comment. So we may have to import this. So importing list, new array list. Now like I said, this is going to be one to many mapping. Now we need to provide a thing, which is how this comment list is being mapped to your comment class object. So we know that we are mapping through this post object, but this entity doesn't know that. So there is an argument for that. So we just need to provide that argument, which is mapped by. So here we just need to provide the name of that object, so which is this post. So we'll just provide this post here. Now here we will just add one more thing, which is your join column annotation, which again signifies the same thing that we did for post class, but here we need to provide which column of this post object or post table are we actually mapping? So we are mapping to post ID. Alright, so now we have to recreate our tables. So alright, so I have run the application and it has started. Now let's see if we have got the data in our database or not. So coming to MySQL, let's refresh this. Okay, so as you can see here, in our post there isn't any change, but if you see here in columns you have ID, you have column so let me just expand this a bit. So in the DDL you can see that we have ID, we have comment description, email, name and post ID. So here primary ID is this, we have a key which is post ID, which is your foreign key basically, and this is referring to your post ID, right? So the structure is ready. We are done with our bean class. Now what do we need is we need to create a service and DAO layers. That is what we did for post as well. So similarly we will do the same. So let's recall what we did in post DAO. So we just implemented JPA repository, right? And we use the CRUD operations of this JPA repository. Similarly, we will do the same. So we will just create a new interface. So this is going to be your comment DAO. And here again, we will just use the same thing, which is your this, except there's going to be one change, which is instead of your post, this is going to be comment. Import class, and this is this one. Alright, so we are good. Now let's annotate this with your repository annotation so that we know that this is a repository. And we are good. Now what do we need? Now we need a service layer. So in our post service, we basically had all the major logic, all the operations of your CRUD. So similarly, we will have the same thing for your comment, but here there is going to be a big change in the sense like we are going to have more operations here in the comment. So let's work on that. So this is going to be a class. Let's name this comment service. So ideally there should be a comment service interface, and then we should have an implementation of that interface, but that's okay. We just want to save some time, right? So this is going to be a service layer. And now let's talk about what methods do we need. So first is that we need an add comment, which is going to actually use your C part of your CRUD operation, which is create. Then we need get comment. Now there are two things through which we can get a comment, either by comment ID, so comment ID, or via post ID. Now we have covered read and create operations. Now coming down to update. So update is going to be simple, which is just your update comment. And lastly, we have delete comment. Now you might be thinking, why don't we have two set of methods for delete and update? That is because we are not going to work via post ID on these two, but via comment ID. So that is the usual stuff, and that is why we don't have these new methods. Now let's work on the implementation of this. So first thing first, we need two objects. One is your post DAO and another one is your comment DAO. So let's quickly create that. Private post DAO, and another one is your comment DAO. Now let's auto wire both of these so that we have a new object when we are running this application. Now let's create all these methods. So talking about add comment first. So this is going to return a comment object, and this is similar to what we did for our post service as well. So if you take a look here, what we are returning here, we are returning a post which actually doesn't get used much if you come down to controller. So here we called the create post method, but what are we returning here? We are just returning the post ID, because that is what we want. We want the user to know. We just don't want user to be bombarded with all the information which he doesn't need. So we just want him to know that something happened and here's the new ID, right? So that is good. Actually, there is no use of even providing the ID, but it's okay if we are talking about debugging perspective. Okay, so now let's return the comment object and comment. So this is your method. Let's import this. Now again, coming down to your create post. So here if you see, we got a post object and then we just use the save method to save it. Similarly, we have to do the same, but here we have a catch. So if you take a look at your comment bean, you have a new variable which is your post ID. So you need this one as well. So which means that for which post you are actually adding a comment. So here we are going to get the comment data, which is okay, but you also need a post ID. So this we are going to get here. Alright, so first we need to figure out if this ID is existing there or not, which is okay. Like you can do it. If let's say there is some issue that this ID is not existing in the database, then you should create an exception. So that exception needs to be something specific which provides the user with the information that something went wrong because we couldn't find this ID. That's it. Now we are going to use Java 8 functionality here. So what do we need is, we will first use post DAO object. We are going to find the post object through this post ID, right? So we have the method which we used similarly in post service as well. So find by ID. Here we will just provide post ID, and if so, I'll just show you what we did here. So here if you see, find by ID this, or else throw this kind of a thing. So similarly we can do here. So I'll just copy this entirely, or else throw new runtime exception, this post ID, which is going to be here. Post ID doesn't exist, and that's good, right? So otherwise we are going to get a post object. So here we just validated if this ID is there or not. All right, now let's format this a bit. Now we got the post object and we have the comment object with us. So here we will just set the post object here like this, and now we are just going to return whatever we are going to save through our comment DAO. So comment DAO dot save, and here we will just provide comment, and that's it. We are done with our first method. Now let's see if this is working fine or not. So how do we do that? First we have to work on our controller. So let's come down here, let's create a class comment controller. All right, so this is going to be a controller, first thing first, and this is going to be actually a REST controller. So let's not put things here like this. All right, now again we need to auto wire an object which is going to be your service layer. Sorry, not post, rather comment service. Auto wire it. Now let's come back to post controller. So here if you see this create post method, we returned a response entity with a string because we wanted to print a proper message, and similarly we are going to do here. So what do we need here is, we are going to return this with the post mapping. All right, so public, and here we will just say create comment and that's it. Now this is a post mapping. Now this is going to come via your post. So here the URI is going to be like, first we will say post, then ID, and then create. So here we have two things. One is our path variable, another one is our request body. So let's do that. So path variable, okay, so this is a long ID, and then your request body, which is your comment. All right, let's import this. All right, so we are good here. Now we just have to call our service layer method, comment service dot. Okay, so we did something wrong. What did we do wrong? Let's come back to comment service. Okay, so these all are, so this is a default method, so this has to be a public method. Now we should be able to see methods here. So yeah, add comment. So here we need two things, comment and then ID. So yeah, that's good. Now let's switch the positions here as well, because this doesn't look good. All right, so now this has to return a response entity, right? So let's come back to post controller, and if you see here, we are returning something like this. So we are going to do the same. So here this is going to be response. Let's create a new variable. All right, so here we will just say comment created successfully for. All right, so this is good. Now let's try to see if this is working fine or not. So let's run our application. All right, so the application is started. Let's open Postman quickly. So this is going to be a post request. So talking about the URL, so this is going to be localhost 8080, then your post. Now coming down to post, so we have only one post. This is my first edited post, so we are going to use the ID for this one. So that is going to be 1, and then create comment. Now let's come down to body, raw JSON. Okay, so first thing first, we need name, so let's say John, and then we need email, and then we need the comment description. All right, now we are done. So now let's send this. All right, so taking a look here, this one says 201 created, comment created successfully for ID. Yeah, message is wrong. So this should be like this. All right, anyways, let's come down to database. So here I can see the comment here. This is just a dummy comment, email, John, and the post ID as well. Now let's try to create another one. So here we will just say, all right, now let's send it again. So comment created successfully for ID 2. Okay, that's good. Now let's hit this again, and I can see the second comment. So this is working fine. So we are done with our add comment, and this create comment does not look good. This should be add comment. So I'm going to modify this. All right. Now let's work on the rest of our mappings. So let's come back to comment service. All right, get comment by comment ID. Let's move this. So what this is going to return, so again this is going to return comment, so this is going to do that. Now this has to be public, otherwise we are going to repeat the same mistake again. Now this is going to have your comment ID, and so I'm just going to copy this line, and here this is going to be your comment DAO dot find by ID, same method, and this. All right, so here we will just say this ID, and we will just return this. All right, this one is simple. Now coming down to the get comment by post ID. So here things are going to be a bit different. Here we will just say long post ID. All right, so this is going to be difficult. Why? Because we are talking about post ID and we don't hit the comment method by post ID, which is your foreign key. So for this we don't get any by default implementation. For this we have to make some modification. So for this what we need to do is we need to come back to our comment DAO, and here we will just add a new method. So public, and this is going to be your find by post ID. So here we need a new method, right? And this is going to be your post ID, but this is not going to return a single comment, rather the list of comment, because through post we are going to get many comments. So list of comment. Now let's import few things. All right, so we are done. That's good. Now coming back to service layer, here what do we need to do is we will use comment DAO dot. Now instead of find by ID we are going to work with find by post ID, and here we will just provide post ID. We need to return list of comment. All right, and alt enter, and we just return this. Simple as that. Now coming down to update comment. So here if you see for post service, when we are talking about update, we are not returning anything, we are just saving it, and same is the case for delete. So that is what we are going to do here as well. So this is not going to return anything. So public void okay, so this is going to be by ID, and let's do long ID. Here we are going to need two things. One is your comment ID, another one is your post ID, and let's signify this one as well correctly. All right, so first is that the user is going to provide either name, email, or the comment description. These three details is these three are the only details which the user can update, right? The few things that he won't update, we have to update. So the details that the user is going to provide is going to be in our object comment, and that's it. Now through our post ID we have to fetch the post. So this we have done already, so we are just going to copy from here. All right, so we have the post object now. Now what do we need is we need to set the comment object with these values. All right, so first thing is we are going to set the ID. So ID is going to be your comment ID, and then we need to set post. And nothing else is needed. Now we are just going to save this. So comment down dot save and then comment. All right, good enough. Now let's work on our delete comment. So this is again going to be void. So public void by comment ID. So here we are just going to need long ID, which is your comment ID. Here first we need to find this out. So similarly, like what we have done here, we will do it like this, but I'm just going to copy this because this one is for comment, and yeah, this ID does not exist. So we got the comment here. Now we just have to delete it. Oops. So comment down dot delete. So here we can also use delete by ID, which I'm going to do here because this one seems simpler. I don't know why I did this. Let's take a look at post service, what we did there. So here we first found if it is there or not. Yeah, this one looks good. Let's use this. So if comment dot find by ID dot is present, then in that case delete, otherwise. All right, so we are done with our last operation as well. Now let's come back to our controller class and let's create the mappings. So now coming to get mappings. So first is your get comment by comment ID. So this is going to return the response entity, but this is not going to return the string. This is going to return comment. All right, so comment service dot get comment. So here we just need the comment ID. So this we will get through path variable long ID. Now in the get mapping, we will just say comment and then ID. All right, now we are good. Now let's return this. All right, so we are good with this. Now we have to work on get comment by post ID. So let's work on that. So public get comment by post ID. So this one again is going to be a get mapping, but here we are going to use two path variables. So one is going to be our post ID, and then the comment ID. This is going to return your list of comment, if I remember correctly. All right, now let's import this list. Okay, so now let's call. Okay, first we need to set the arguments. So path variable log post ID and path variable log. Now here we need to provide the argument for the annotation as well, otherwise this will be very confusing. So now let's provide something unique here so that it won't be confusing. So here we will just say post ID, and here this is going to be comment ID. Okay, do we need the comment ID? One second. Get comment by post ID. So we only need post ID here. Okay, so my bad. All right, so my bad. We don't need this, and we can do like this. Okay, now comment service dot get comment by post ID and ID, and here we will just say comment list, create a local variable. Okay, so here we don't need to do this, we can just directly return this, and that's good. Now coming back to what else is needed, update. Okay, so this is going to be a put mapping, update comment, and for this we only need comment ID, so yeah, that's good. Put mapping. Okay, let's check. Okay, sorry, we need comment ID, post ID and comment, so a lot of things. So post ID, comment. Now this is going to be complex, so let's change this, comment ID. So this is what I did before mistakenly, but this we have to do here. Now comment ID. Okay, okay, this is good. Now path variable, so I'm just going to copy this. So this is your comment ID, and this one is your post ID. Then we are going to get a request body, comment and comment. So what do we need to return here? So coming back to post controller, if you see here, we are just returning the string message. So that is what we are going to do here. Now this is going to be similar to this. Instead of created, we would say okay. So let's change this to okay. Now we have to get a response, comment service dot update. So what is the order here? So first we have comment ID, then post ID. Okay, so comment ID, post ID, and then the comment object. And let's create the local variable of this one, void. So this actually doesn't return anything, and in our post controller, okay, we just did this. Okay, that's good. Yeah, no need. So comment updated successfully, and that makes sense. Okay, got it. And here we will remove this. Okay, last mapping, your delete mapping. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm just saving work here. So here I'll just say delete comment and delete comment, and let's remove this comment service. So this is again going to return void, which means nothing. So that is that. And here I'll just say comment deleted successful. All right, so now let's rerun this application. Alright, so the application is started. Now let's work. So first we need to update this because I updated from create to add. So let's update the name. Let's update the email as well. Now let's hit the request. Alright, so the comment created successfully, ID 3. Now let's work on the get request. So in the get request we have the mapping, comment and ID, right? So let's try this. Alright, so this is comment and the ID. Alright, so we are good. Let's hit it. Alright, so we are getting this error, view in console. It says aborted. Let's the ID console. What does it say there? Cannot call sender after the response has been committed. Okay, this is weird. So it says HTTP message not writable exception. Alright, so there are few ways to solve this. One is that you can use JSON managed reference annotation and JSON back reference. So these two are used together. The another way is that don't use any of this, just use JSON ignore, with which you can ignore one of these, right? So if we do that, let's say if I use this and if I run our application and hit the API back, you will see the response like this. So here what do you see? You see the comment details. So these are the comment details. Then you see the post details as well. In case you want to see the post details, then you can ignore the JSON response like this. Otherwise, just use the JSON ignore annotation here, right? So what was happening is inside post we were also getting comment, and then inside comment we were also getting post. So that was an infinite recursion which was causing this issue. Now we have solved it. So this is how you can fix it. Now coming back to our original testing, now we have to hit the get all comments by post ID, right? So let's do that. So for that we have the mapping, this one. So post ID and then get comments. All right, so let me modify this. So first is your post, then the post ID, then get comments. Let's hit it. All right, so it says not found. So that is because we have to use post, and I used post with an S. All right, let's hit it again. So here what do you see? You see the post one, the comment one, and then the post, then the comment two, and then the post, then the comment three, and then the post. And this is what we don't need. We just need something like this. That's it. So for this, what we will do is we will come back to comment, and here we will just add JSON ignore annotation, and from here we will just remove it. Now let's run our application. All right, so now let's come back to Postman, hit it once more. Okay, so what do you see here? You see ID1 John, ID2 Sam, ID3 Shriram. So you see everything in proper format, right? This is what we need. Now if you come back to our previous mapping, which was this one, you will see a different data. So previously we were seeing also the comment data, which we didn't need it. Now, yeah, this one is good. Now the put mapping, which is your update mapping. All right, so let's see what the mapping was. So for update, we have post ID, comment ID. Okay, so big. So post ID, and then comment ID. Now we need body, so this I'm going to copy from the add post mapping. So body, copy this. Okay, so this one is put, and paste it here. So here for the first one we had John, right? So here we will just say John again. We are not going to modify anything here, and the mail is going to be same, John Doe, but in the comment description we are going to change it. This is just an edited dummy comment, right? Now let's send this. All right, comment updated successfully. Now let's come back to database. Okay, so for this we don't need to come back to database. We can just directly hit the mapping like this. So here if you see, this is just an edited dummy comment. Now let's use the delete one. So for delete we have delete comment and then the ID. So I'm going to delete the first one. So delete comment and then one, hit it. Okay, so comment deleted successfully. Now let's use this one once more. Get all the comments via post, right? So let's send this. Okay, so now we only see two, Sam and then Shriram. Okay, that's good. So this is what I needed to do in this part of the series. In the future series, if I get some time, then I will try to make some more modification to this. So I have a plan, like I need to add some validations and exception handling to this, and let's see where this project goes. If you have anything, then do let me know in the comment section. I will try to embed that requirement into this project. So this is it for this video. I really hope that we will meet in some another video. Till then, have a good day, stay happy, and bye bye.